Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So in this video, I want to show you guys a real quick, easy technique and method that you can use to check your drift profile. So as you've read in the title by now already, you can use non-hardening modeling clay. Now, the modeling clay that I'm using, I just happened to be able to pick this up. This was at a Hobby Lobby, I believe it was, when I picked this up. I will drop some affiliate links down in the description down below if you want to see this exact brand and what they have in modeling clay. This is white. It's called Plastilina Non-Hardening Modeling Clay by Sargent Art. Again, hashtag not a sponsor, but this is just what I was able to pick up on hand. Now this is quite a bit of it. It's like 2 pounds. I didn't know how much I wanted to have around to play with, but nonetheless, here's a little block of it. It comes in blocks, which I thought was nice, and you know, this is one that I've done some test forging and things like that before with. So modeling clay can be used to do things, a lot of times test out different ideas about forging, right? Like how you're going to ideally make a part, right? Modeling clay can be really handy for that because you can go through the motions, and if it doesn't work out, you squash the ball back together, get it back to shape, and then try what you were thinking again, or whatever tooling. Now, the thing that doesn't get talked about a whole lot is you can actually use modeling clay to check your profiles of your drifts and punches. Here recently I just made this oval drift for hammer eyes, right? Which is kind of important that this pitch and all this kind of be correct, so this way when you actually seat up a hammer handle, all of that just flows nicely together without you having to do a bunch of grinding. So this is a great way of checking that. So what you do is you just take one side of it and you can go ahead and impression it. Now, depending on how deep you're going with the drift, that's how deep you want to squeeze this thing into here. Usually, ideally, if you're wanting to check to see if that's going to work out for you on a hammer head, this is not a static one size, right? So it gets wider and wider out towards the top. So your block needs to be at least the dimensions of the hammerhead that you're going to be punching, or you know, you're going to be drifting through, so you can truly check with accuracy that that profile drift is going to work for your purposes. But hopefully you guys can see there that's created a pretty nice oval hole. Now, what's the purpose of this? What am I checking right now? What I'm checking right now is to make sure that the grinding that I've been doing on this to turn this into an oval is correct, and there's no sharp high spots as I go up the drift. For me right now, that's more important on this fly press drift than the actual size diameter at the top of the hole, because that's going to fluctuate with different hammers that I'm going to be using this universal drift on. So I'll just keep pressing that right on through again, and I just want to make sure that the outside of this hole is exactly the size, the profile on this piece is exactly oval the way I want it. Now, some things will askew a little bit if you do a lot of twisting or pushing one way or the other. So try to do this on a flat surface. I'm just doing it for the camera up here so you can see, but normally you'd put this on a flat surface. Maybe even I would lock this up in a fly press and just press this straight down through just to see what the outcome is. Remember, if you squeeze this, it's going to change the shape of that hole. So just be careful when you're going through this to check your sizes. A lot of times I like to rock it a little bit as I go through if I'm doing it by hand. And again, I'm going to be real careful as to not distort this when I try to bring it back off. So I'm going to lightly work it, off it comes. And so right now I can tell on the camera, it's right here, I can tell I've got a bit of a hot spot, a little bit of a high spot, so it's starting to turn square from original. So what I can do is I can reinsert that drift, and I can mark where that's at now on the drift with a marker. So if I put this drift back in, hopefully the same way it came out. That's not right. Let me flip it around. Nope, it was right. Okay, there we go. So if I push this drift back in to where it was at, okay, and I pull that out and I keep orientation of this drift correctly, So my hot spot's on this side. So what I'll do is I'll take that, grab myself a marker, excuse me, hopefully you guys won't get any rustling of stuff. Get yourself a permanent marker, and now you can mark that edge as a hot spot. So we'll just mark that like so. And now I know that I need to sand that area more because it's coming out with a square on the end. It's starting to get kind of a kink in that direction, and that's not what we want when we want a perfectly smooth ovular hole. Now, this is probably a terrible way of doing this. This is just the way that I've come up with to, find hot spots on things like this. If you could chuck this up and you've got a lathe and you can make tools perfectly like this, great. This is really for people who don't have lathes or the ability to chuck something this big up and all the right things to make perfect ovals, right? And perfect tapering ovals at that. So this is just a down and dirty method to really quickly get a nice shape to it. I will say this about drift making. If you're going to make a drift and it's going to be something you're going to use all the time, it is worth it to make it right. If it's not right, this is additional advice. So if you want to click away from the video because you don't want to hear Roy waffling on, now's the time. If you're going to be using this a ton, try to eliminate as much variability in this drift as possible. That means get every little line out that's not supposed to be there. Get every little hot spot out that's not supposed to be there. So this way you're not busy fighting it every time you go to drift a hammer eye. And now it's always going to have that same problem that you have to find new solutions to fix, or you have to create additional tooling. When you could have just made one really nice tool to begin with, boom, boom, bang, done, right? So that's my bit of advice on that. But yeah, so now, again, you can see how you can use modeling clay to find out the proper oval for a handle. That's another thing that you could do as well. You can actually shove the hammer handle itself up into the piece and get a perfect example or an impression of the hole or the size that you're going for. And then while you're working on the drift itself, you can cool down your drift and then just check it for proper size and fitment each and every time. So if you come in here and you say, okay, yeah, I'm not up to size yet. Okay, it's going in. All right, yeah, it's not perfect, right? So then you can come in and regrind a little bit at a time. So that's it for today. I just wanted to share that helpful little tip with you. Let me know down below if that helps you out. Also, let me know down below if you know of any better methods for checking profiles of drifts and in the like. I'm sure other people would love to hear from you as well in the comment section. Thank you so much to all of the channel members. We really couldn't do this content here without you. So thank you so much for making this possible. If you'd like to join some of the channel members on this channel and support what we do here, you can click that join button right down below this video. And also, if you are a channel member, be sure to use your discount codes that we renew every single month for you on some of our great blanks that we have over at blacksmithingblanks.com. So that's it for today. God bless each and every last one of you, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.